There are those who are great at what they do, but they never became great alone. They had a mentor, someone to teach them, someone to inspire them, a pro to guide them. And now it's your turn. Introducing InstaPro. Choose your pro and get into a game of League in less than 30 seconds. Go to ProGuides.com and start winning right now. Hello Summoners and welcome back to another ProGuides upcoming changes video. My name is Christoph and today I'll be going over all the upcoming changes that are planned for patch 9.12. Everything that's mentioned here can be found on the PBE right now, but please do keep in mind that nothing is set in stone and changes can be made before 9.12 hits the live servers. There are a ton of new features that I'm so excited to talk about, but before we get started, make sure to check out ProGuides.com if you want to see massive improvements to your rank. We have a new feature called InstaPro, which gives you 24/7 on-demand coaching by the best of the best. Click the link down below if you want to watch some video guides made by your favorite pro players and receive coaching whenever you want. Now without further ado, let's jump right into the video. First up, let's go over some hotfix changes that were made at the start of patch 9.11, but were quickly buffed once 9.11 hit the live servers. Karthus' ultimate, Requiem, had its AP ratio increased to 75% from 65%, and Master Yi's Q, Alpha Strike, had its damage on the same target increased by 10%. Both of these hotfix buffs were justified, and it was a good move on the balanced team's behalf to make this decision. Now let's move on to some changes for patch 9.12. First and foremost, the Mordekaiser rework is currently on the PBE and will hit the live servers within a few weeks. Mordekaiser is probably the buggiest champion in the game right now, and he was long overdue for a rework. Luckily for all you Mordekaiser mains out there, our favorite overlord is getting a complete redesign on every single part of his kit. The Riot design team have said that this is one of the biggest overhauls that they had ever done, and they've changed every single ability. However, they also noted that they want to keep his strengths as an AP juggernaut while also making him more satisfying to play. Let's go over some of his new abilities. His passive is called Darkness Ryze. After 3 basic spells or attacks against enemy champions, Mordekaiser deals max % health damage per second around himself and gains a burst of movement speed for 5 seconds. This passive refreshes itself with each champion attack or spell hit. On top of that, Mordekaiser's basic attacks also deal 40% AP bonus magic damage per hit. Mordekaiser's Q is called Obliterate. This spell has no cost and has a 9-second cooldown at rank 1 and a 4-second cooldown at max rank. Mordekaiser smashes the ground with Nightfall, dealing magic damage to all enemies in the area. This damage is increased by a decent amount if only a single enemy is hit. Next up is his W, called Indestructible, and it does quite literally what the name says. Mordekaiser stores 30% of all damage he deals and 15% of all damage he takes as a potential shield. Indestructible grants him the shield and may be cast a second time to consume it and heals himself for the remaining value. This ability has a 14-second cooldown at rank 1 and a 10-second cooldown at max rank. His E is called Death's Grasp, and it has a 24-second cooldown at rank 1, but lowers down to 12 seconds at max rank. The passive on Death's Grasp also allows Mordekaiser to gain a decent amount of magic penetration, and the active on this ability pulls enemies in an area while also dealing damage. You can kind of compare this with Swain's passive combined with a mini Aurelian Soul ult. Lastly, his ultimate, Realm of Death, is the ability that I'm most excited for. It has a 140-second cooldown at rank 1 and a 100-second cooldown at max rank. Mordekaiser banishes a target to the Death Realm for 7 seconds. During these 7 seconds, his target cannot escape the area, and if Mordekaiser kills his target, then he consumes their soul and keeps a part of their stats until they respawn. Overall, this Mord rework looks amazing. The splash art makes him look so badass, and I can't wait until he hits the live servers. But we will miss the spooky dragon ghosts though. Next up, we have our much anticipated annual Ryze rework available on the PBE right now. It now looks like Ryze has beaten the Riot Balance team for the billionth time, and they're looking to give him another rework. Our favorite blue mage has been reworked so many times in the past few years, it's become a living meme. Let's go over his new kit. Ryze's passive is called Arcane Mastery, and it has a few parts to it. Firstly, casting a basic spell reduces your other basic spell's cooldowns by 1 second. On top of that, spell damage and shielding is increased by 1% based off of Ryze's maximum mana, but all his other mana ratios have been removed. Next up is his Q Overload. The passive effect on this ability has been removed, and the spell ranks have decreased from 6 to 5. The damage on this ability has also been changed to provide more base damage but significantly less AP ratio. On top of that, its Overload damage bonus has been lowered by a huge amount, and its mana cost has been increased by 20. Rune Prison is Ryze's W, and it's receiving a ton of changes for this rework. The damage on this ability has been decreased significantly, and it now shields on cast for a decent amount as well. On top of that, the root has been changed to a slow and will only root your target if they are marked by your E, Spell Flux. Speaking of Spell Flux, Ryze's E has also been changed and will now bounce off any target hit with this ability. However, it will no longer grant bonus damage on targets marked by a Spell Flux, and will also have its damage increased by 10 at all ranks and 5% AP scaling. Lastly, his ultimate Time Warp will have its spell ranks increased to 3 from 2. In addition to that, you will now require an ally nearby to cast this ability, and the range has been increased at all ranks. The cooldown on Time Warp has also been changed to 180 seconds at all ranks as well. Let us know what you guys think of this Ryze rework in the comments below. Our Challenger analysts believe that Ryze will still have the same problems that he does on his current iteration. They believe that Ryze will be a competitive monster due to his new E and ultimate, but will be a very niche pick for solo queue. We want to hear your thoughts, so make sure to leave them down below. Sylas has been demolishing the ladder recently and is long overdue for a change. Luckily for all the Sylas haters out there, the Balanced team are hitting Sylas with some pretty big nerfs. His passive will have its damage changed completely, followed by a nerf to its radius. On top of that, it now does 50% reduced damage to secondary targets, and now only has 2 charges. His Q, Chain Lash, will have its Q2 explosion radius decreased by 20, followed by a huge nerf to the Q2's base damage and AP ratio. Lastly, his E will now only grant Sylas a shield if he hits a champion or monster. The shield values have been increased, but this is an overall nerf. These changes will likely shift Sylas's playstyle from more of a burst AP mage to more of a hybrid-style bruiser. We suspect that players will start building Hextech Gunblade and completely drop the Protobelt route. Warwick received a small buff at the start of patch 9.11 and is looking to receive another big buff for patch 9.12. His Q, Jaws of the Beast, will have its AP ratio increased to 100% from 90%. All the Warwick mains out there are really satisfied with this change, and they cannot wait until it hits the live servers. Wukong and Malphite's reworks have returned to the PBE and are on track for being released soon. However, we're still unsure about the Teemo rework, but we'll keep a close eye on it for now and keep you guys updated. If you want to know more about these reworks, then please check out our previous upcoming changes video for patch 9.11, where we go over all the changes made to Teemo, Wukong, and Malphite. The next change is a potential nerf to Aatrox, but hasn't hit the PBE just yet. Riot Repertoire has given us a sneak peek at the changes planned for Aatrox in patch 9.12. Since Aatrox is one of the most OP champions in the game right now, he definitely deserves a nerf. His passive Deathbringer stance will have its cooldown change from 15 at all ranks to 20 to 12 depending on his level. Next, his ultimate World Ender has its revive completely removed and its healing limited only to self-healing instead of all healing. These are very big nerfs from Aatrox, and it might even drop him out of the S tier. And the final change planned for patch 9.12 is to Corrupting Potion. The amount you heal has been decreased from 125 to 100, and the Torch of Corruption damage has been changed to 20 at all ranks instead of 15 to 30 depending on your level. Also, there are a ton of new skins coming out. We have Darkstar Jhin, Darkstar Karma, Darkstar Shaco, and the 3 Mordekaiser skins are going to be updated as well. Let us know what change you're most excited about down below, and if you enjoyed watching this video, then please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to our channel to be notified of the next one. Also, make sure to check out ProGuides.com using the link below if you want to see huge improvements to your rank. Thank you guys for watching, good luck in your next few games, and we'll see you on the Rift.